We are taking you live to the Syrian capital, where President Ahmed al-Sharaa is addressing the nation after days of violence in the southern city of Suwayda. Let's listen in.
Some backup from out forces is not to the interest of the public, yet it exacerbates the crisis. Second, the Arab tribes in Syria have always been a symbol of noble values. These tribes throughout history proven their glorious positions, standing by the side of the state, providing all sacrifice in the face of all the odds and challenges faced by the country. These tribes have been always the first line of defense against foreign threats and also an effective tool for security and stability. The glorious position by these tribes, yet some tried to defend themselves and take the law in their hands in the face of the threats faced by them. Despite the fact that we understand the motives, yet it is important to emphasize that these acts cannot replace the role of the state, imposing the rule of law. The state is the only authority capable of maintaining the state prestige and sovereignty throughout its corners. As we thank these tribes for their heroic positions, yet we call on them to abide by the ceasefire and stand by the side of the state. This moment requires us to join hands and cooperate to brave through all these plights, maintaining the sovereignty and territorial integrity of our country from any outside forces. Third, we commend the valuable role played by the United States of America, standing by the side of Syria at these dire conditions, reiterating the necessity of reconstruction of the state. We also cannot neglect to mention the effective role played by certain Arab states as well as Turkey as part of the regional efforts aiming at reinforcing stability and security. And within this context, the European Union, Russia and China have also taken firm positions rejecting the violation by Israel of the Syrian sovereignty. This solidarity by all these partners reflect their common interest in maintaining Syria's sovereignty and territorial integrity, and also reiterating that they cannot tolerate further violation. These positive interventions cannot be achieved without a unified diplomacy that managed to link the interests of Syria to the interests of the region and the whole world. This also reflects the effective role of Syria, proving that it is still part and parcel of the global landscape. Fourth, we cannot put the entire Druze sect to a judgment for certain individual isolated acts by some groups. Al-Suwayda province has always and still is part and parcel of the state of Syria. Druze are also a main component of the social fabric of Syria. Any attempt to undermine the unity of the Syrian people or sideline any component constitute a direct threat to our stability. Events over the past months proved that al-Suwayda, with all its components and sect, are standing by the side of the state, rejecting all enterprise aiming at division and reject with the exception of certain groups. The state of Syria is committed to protect and safeguard all the sects and will continue to penalize any violators from any sect. No one can go unpunished, and we disavow all the violations and crimes committed, be it within al-Suwayda or without. And we also reiterate that it's important to impose the rule of law to all the Druze and Bedouin. Make no mistake that you should join forces, that you share common traditions, history, and above all, one homeland. And you should transcend above all differences. And at this dire condition, It is required to listen to the voice of reason and wisdom and open the door for wise people from both sides to play a role in mending fences among both sides. We should also stand firmly to all those aiming at provoking or driving a wedge based on sectarianism or monger revenge. The state of Syria, based on its responsibility, will do all what it can in order to augment any effort aiming at reinforcing stability and unity. In conclusion, history has it that Syria is not a battlefield or a test bed for any enterprise of sectarian division. Some opted for division, yet they were encountered with catastrophic consequences. Today, it is important to go back to the right path and stay on common grounds that will be a platform for building the future of Syria. The might of the state of Syria is derived from the unity and harmony among its people and the compliance and harmony with its regional and global interests. This will reinforce our long-term prosperity. I wouldn't fail to mention to pray and honor the memory of all the fallen martyrs and the victims of sedition, and I pray to God Almighty to accept them in His mercy and grant speed recovery to the wounded. And may God's peace and blessings be upon you all.